So I think I'll start by saying hello. Thank you for tuning in to this ToeJam and Earl any percent fixed world speedrun tutorial. This is version 2.0. There's an older version that has a lot of the same stuff in it, but I'm going to go over the things that are the same just like it's the first time, and I'll do all the things that are new, and yeah, like always, this isn't the only way to play the game. There's plenty of other ways to play. If you prefer other routes or methods, or if you think that there's better routes or things, that I totally encourage you to go about exploring that. And if you find something cool, you should let us know in the Speedrun Discord, because that's really cool. But as of right now, if you're looking to learn the game, I'm gonna hope, or if you're an experienced player just looking to, learn a couple new levels that have changed from what's previous, I'm here for you no matter what. So we're gonna go through this thing and learn how to speedrun. So I have some suggestions that might help bring about a better time if you're just starting new. And those suggestions would, number one, to be, consider joining the Speedrun Discord. There's a link in my info, Hoodie 2 Shoes, on my Twitch page, twitch.tv/Hoodie2Shoes. You should be able to find a link to our Speedrun Discord there, and you can introduce yourself, say that you're, starting out, and people might tune into your channel if you stream practicing or anything like that. Plenty of people will be willing to watch and give you tips, but also, on that speedrun page, the ToeJam and Earl, you go to speedrun.com and you navigate to ToeJam and Earl. There are resources, and what I would strongly recommend is heading to the resources section and downloading some version of the fixed world maps that are fully revealed. I've done a zip file, but mine just is the map files that are revealed. My Two Dogs has a set of files that are the revealed map files that also have present locations. Those are correct for single player, and they're largely correct for co-op, but there are additional presents in co-op that don't show up on My Two Dogs map because there's a couple extra presents in two-player mode. So no one has really done a full detailed map of that work for co-op, but for single player, My Two Dogs has done a lot of work. He's got a bunch of cool maps that have, like I said, the present locations, and he's even got an enemy cheat sheet, so you can see on each level how many Earthlings you can expect and each of which type of Earthling to expect, and that's consistent whether you're playing random world or fixed world. The number of Earthlings and type of Earthlings are set for every level, for every run. It's just a matter of where they get spawned. So in fixed world, you'll notice it's the same Earthlings on every level, but they'll spawn in different locations, and that will be relevant to the way that your run goes. If there's a hula girl in one location on one seed, and then a hula girl in a different location on another seed, that's going to provide different results for you. But my tip is to go to the resources section, and at the very least, I would download the revealed map files, because playing the game and learning the game with those files open so you can reference them while you're trying to learn the game is just so helpful, because it'll give you a better idea of where your goal is. It's one thing to be learning one level and then you're doing it and you feel good about it, but then, say you learn level 4 and you feel good about it, and then you find yourself doing level 19, and then you go back and you try to do level 4, you might not remember what was going on level 4. So it's always nice to have the maps there so you can kind of, at the very least, just reorient yourself and go, oh, hey, this is the level where I open up rocket skates and I need to go this way and that way. And I've seen some people use those map files and they'll use like a paint, MS Paint or whatever, and they'll draw lines of the route that they're supposed to go in the level. I think that's great too. I know that I see people put reminders to themselves in their splits. I have them in No Doorway, where what you should be doing. It might say high tops, or it might say pick up to, or whatever. Like, people can write whatever works for you to help you remember what you should be doing. I think all of these things are valuable. I don't have a current set of written notes for this run because I didn't, it's all in my head so well that I don't need to write it down. When I first learned Fixed World, the thing that I did was I wrote my own notes by watching Peach's video. and kind of ascertained what the intended route was maybe supposed to be, and then kind of figured out what to do from there. And I think that doing the work, even if you don't intend to use the notes, like doing the work of writing it down gets it in your brain in such a way that it's really nice. Or you can have like a notepad file that says a couple of words, like level, let's just say level 10, run up and right until this location, open rocket skates, get ship, it's like there's whatever your level of notes that worked for you. You could have those and the map files. I think that's really helpful and important. And yeah, without too much more blathering on, we can get started. But I just really think that those things are important. And the one more thing that I want to say that's really important that I see a lot of people when they're starting out do is they get really concerned with very minor time saves that maybe, someone like me or someone else is concerned with, that really in the reality of learning the run, you should not be there's like different tiers of importance for things to do. And like some of the ticky-tacky, like save a 1/10 or 5/10 of a second here or there things that I'm going to show you, what I try to do, might not be the things to focus on. And really just like finding a way to get fluency in what you're doing, and like knowing, okay, I'm on level 17 and then I do these actions, and then I'm on level 18 I do these actions. That's what's going to help you be comfortable running the game, and that's what's really going to ultimately allow you to have a better time. Like the time saves here and there, those are great, but those are only helpful if you're already fluent enough at playing the game that your brain is in a relaxed state. That's how you're gonna get fast times. When you're relaxed, you go fast. If you're tense, if there's too much going on, it's not gonna be like, it's kind of counterintuitive, but being relaxed and like feeling comfortable is how you excel. It's how you perform well. And so your goal should be trying to get to a place where you're feeling comfortable about the major things in the run. And then at that point, you can start worrying about ticky-tacky little things here and there. So with all that said, thanks for dealing with all that. We'll get started. Your timer is going to start as soon as you hit start on whichever world you're going to play. So we're playing fixed world. We would start our timer as soon as we hit start on fixed world here. That's when the game is going to start for us. So then we'd start, we're playing the game. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in the game, open up your menu and open up a pair of high tops. And you're going to run to the right. You could run straight right and you'll land right here. And then you could run straight up and you'll land there. And you can get in the elevator. You need to grab that present. That's a doorway. You want to grab that door. You don't want to grab what I just grabbed there. But the present on the left here is a doorway. You want to get high tops, grab that present, and go in the elevator. It's pretty easy. I'll show you in real time what I do. I like to move slightly up. I'll go slow, actually. Again, I'll show you what I do. So I open up the high tops and I move slightly up. I usually do it in a diagonal, and then I go this way, so I land directly on the present, instead of, if you go straight right from spawn, you land a little bit below the present, and then you have to... This is one of those ticky-tack things that is of the lowest tier of importance, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, because I'm going to talk about all of it. But I like to just land on the present, so that way I know I'm on it, and then I can just try to do a little, I don't want to jump off. I'll show you in real time, but it just lets me buffer my movement in a way where I feel like I'm not wasting time, and these are like fractions of seconds that are really not very meaningful, again, so not something to concentrate on. But I want to open up my menu, move slightly up, go in the elevator, and that is level 1. That's all you got to do. All you gotta do. So I made save states. I tried to do this before and I messed up. I was thinking about reusing those save states, but I think I'm just gonna make a whole new batch of save states based on what we're doing right here. I'm just gonna save over the old ones that I made. Let's see. Yes, level 2 I would like to replace. All right, so here we are on level 2. When you're in the elevator, the time doesn't decrease on your power-up, so I can still stand here and I'm not losing the time on my high tops. I would be losing time in a speedrun, but, we're talking, we're not speedrunning, so it's okay. But, the thing you want to do in this level is and in every level, the biggest thing that we're doing is we're worried about lines. We want to think about lines and landmarks. What's the line we're running on, and what are our landmarks that are going to gauge when we change direction and why? So for here, we're going to run out of the elevator, holding down. We're going to go straight left, and then I'm going to get to about here, in between these two yellow lines at the end of the road, because right about here, you know, when I run, I know I can go down and left, right this way, and land right on that pair of Icarus Wings. And doing that is nice because it's the direct line, but it also avoids spawning this terrain. And if you ever spawn terrain that's unnecessary, you can see it right there. It generates the terrain. Let me load the state again. It spawns the terrain, and I can't move anymore. Like, see, I freeze my movement there. And so that really adds up a lot of time if you do that a lot during the run. So I'm going to tell you all the places to try to avoid spawning terrain. This is the first one. I'm looking to be right about, you know, somewhere in between these two yellow lines. You'll get an idea for it. See, I moved down a little bit there when I'll do it in real time. It should be better. But you got to find the landmark that works for you and get your muscle memory used to the thing that's going to be what you want to do. As close to what, like, these work for me. Those two flowers right there. So I kind of went ahead, grabbed the ship piece right around here. So I land on the Icarus Wings that are right over here. That's the thing. Then you grab the ship piece. I like to go up and get it from behind. You can get it from in front, either way. And then you want to get in line where you're doing a diagonal right on kind of this line of the orange flower to those two flowers, because that's how you get on that line. You can just run straight up and right. I think I might have been a little bit off. I was still up, yeah, I was a little bit off. I'll show you in real time, because you can just run straight up and right from that point to the elevator. So everything else we've already talked about. You find your landmark, you get the ship piece. You're looking for those two flowers on the little nub at the edge there, and you try to jump over them like that. And you just keep holding up and right. And then you can make it to the elevator. You do run a little bit faster on the road, but there's times where running in a, you know, if you're taking the hypotenuse of the triangle and the road is going not in the shortest distance between 2 points, there's times where taking the shortest distance between 2 points is just strictly better than taking the road, even though the road makes you run a little bit faster. So I'll do this level once more. Looking for these last two yellow things so I can land on that pair of Icarus Wings, grab the ship piece, run slightly right, and then up and right on those flowers, and just keep holding up and right. And this is, I'm just going to let this ride because that's what could happen in the run. Just adjust so you know that you're going to jump over the water. And even if you land in the water, if it's your first couple of runs and you flub this a little bit, you know, if you're practicing a level like I'm doing on the save state, definitely reset the level and try again. I'm going to reset it just so I don't waste the time for my high tops for these save states, because I want them to be, you know, pretty instructive. But if you're practicing like this, definitely go for clean, tight levels. But if it's your first run, you know, and you've never completed a run, and you fall in the water or something like that, or you get hula girled or something, I would encourage you to continue with the run. I do recommend releasing the high tops slightly before getting to the elevator, yeah. That's a good point. Just need to have this devil not be in the way. I mean, I might reload level 1, get a different seed for this level 2 if this is what's going to happen. But yeah, I guess I should, because what I'm doing right here subconsciously is I'm getting to about here. It's hard to explain. If you run with high tops, your frame for getting in the elevator is a little bit different. And there's like a weird thing that happens when you let go of using high tops. You kind of, like, I don't know, he kind of like does a little, like, the game. The best way that I can do it is show you the glitch that I think is in a minuscule way happening when I do this. So it's like, you can do this with high tops. Hold on, let me set it up. Where I'm just hitting like left and right and spamming the A button. And like the game kind of can't handle that, you know? And there's another, like, if you ever watch some people like ACM or Blessed or other people do random world runs, there's a way that you can mess around with the same kind of movement going up and down using sneaking and kind of like diagonal movement, like sneak pumping. But the game has that kind of a thing where like sometimes you can make ToeJam move in weird and unexpected ways that are kind of fast. And so to a very minuscule extent, I think that what I've kind of this is not the way you do the level, I'm just going here for reference. Like what I've learned to do is you kind of like, you let go a little bit before you think you would, and then like walking is going to get you in the elevator on a better frame than the high tops. For whatever, it's hard to explain, but this is one of those ticky-tack things that doesn't really matter all that much. Just get in the elevator, you know? Like, it's going to be, at the most, maybe a tenth of a second, you know? That would be a crazy amount, but it's kind of just like, if you really think about it, if you get in a groove and you're fluent, you can kind of get to a place where you time when you should release the high tops before going into the elevator. And that's really the best way that I can describe it, because I don't really have the words to put it any other way, I guess. And I'll show in level 3 another reason why I like to let go before, especially like if you're moving sideways toward the elevator, the hitbox there is a little bit different. So I'll show you that on level 3. I'm gonna take this. This is level 2. We're moving on to level 3. I'm gonna save right here in the elevator. Looks like we got a decent seed so far. We'll see if there's a hula girl along the way. Level 3. It does feel like the elevator doors take longer to open when you try to run, but it might just be because it doesn't register. I think there's like a couple of frames or pixels or something where if you're walking it will start opening, and if you're running it won't start opening. And so I think it just opens, it opens earlier if you're walking than it does if you're running. So here we are on level 3. So that present to the left of us, and this is something I've neglected to mention, but it's in Fixed World, we know where the ship pieces are going to be, and we know where the presents we're looking for are going to be. The thing is, they're going to have different sprites every time you reload the game. So you don't want to get used to looking at that as the yellow and green and purple present. You want to look at that as that location. That present location, no matter what it looks like, is going to be high tops. So for every present that I say is a certain item, think about it as that item and not the sprite. Just that location is the item, regardless of whatever the sprite is. And if you're using, you know, if you make your own set of save states, which I would recommend, it's definitely fine. I'm going to post these save states in the resources file section after this is done. And I, you know, just because I understand that the barrier of entry being low is very good. And if you don't want to do the work, I support that. I think that's great. And I don't think you need to do it. But I do think that if you do the work of making the save states yourself, it will help you, it'll make it easier to get fluent in the run. That's what I'm saying. So I think that it benefits you if you do it, but like there's no reason to. I'm gonna post it there, and if you don't want to, if you just want to have some fun and try to speedrun the game, that's great, and that's why I'm doing this. But regardless, don't get used to the sprite, just get used to the present location. So what I'm gonna do is just barely get out of the elevator here and go grab that gift, and then if you look just above the present here, there's this flower right here. I try to be a little bit, you know, I cut it close because I don't want to waste my movement, but even then that's kind of dicey. But you want to be around this flower, maybe a little bit to the, not too far, maybe a little bit to the left of it, but kind of just on that flower so you can jump to that spot. But I'm going to load up level 3 again and show you. You just go left, you grab the present, and then you jump. And you keep going straight up, and then there's another flower right here, this orange flower, that's my landmark. Like I said, it's all about lines and landmarks, this speedrun. So I'm jumping there, and then again, I'm looking for this kind of patch of yellow and orange flowers, this line. Like, as long as I'm kind of in the line where I'm sort of underneath and above these flowers, you know, you can even kind of be on line with the top flowers here. I think that's good. I like to try to cut it a little bit because I'm greedy, but sometimes it makes me pay. But you just get on that flower line, and you go straight left to grab the pair of rocket skates that's right here. So we're going to reload again and do all of that fluidly. Looking for this flower right there. I went a little bit left there because I'm greedy. And I'm looking for the flower that my friend here is occupying. That's just part of how it goes. You go up here, I'm looking for these, I'm going left. I'm grabbing this pair of rocket skates. And I want to stay high on this line, because if I don't, I'm going to spawn terrain right there, and I don't want to spawn the terrain. So you want to stay on that line of the flowers and straight left when you grab those. I'm gonna, I think, reload level 3 and make a new save state so we don't have the hula girl. Just real quick. Give you another opportunity to watch level 2, but I think it'll be better without the 2 hula girls right in our way. I mean, maybe they'll still be in our way, I don't know, but my hope that they will not. But if you, so this is a trick, if you're making your own set of save states, and you run into a level where the Earthlings are just in like an impossible place, go back down a level and redo that level, and then you can make a better save state, you know? And maybe you want a crummy save state to practice, that's okay too. I think it's better to practice on a cleaner level so you know what you're doing without getting trolled, and then you can feel free to get trolled as much as the game wants to troll you when it's time for the game to troll you. But here, let's do it again. You get the present, you can jump up at that flower, you jump up and left from that flower. I'm gonna follow this line right here of those flowers, grab the rocket skates, and then I'm gonna go down and left here and into the elevator. And so the line, I like to cut it, but you can kind of wait until you see the pizza. You can either get the pizza or go just shy of the pizza, and you'll be on a decent line here. I'm gonna waste the high tops because I'm gonna reload the level anyway, but I'm gonna show you what I was talking about before with getting into the elevator. Like running here, I'm running straight into the elevator, but if I let go, I walk right in front. So like, you kind of want to let go of, again, the high tops a little bit before the elevator, optimally, because if you just run straight left, look, you're hitting the elevator, but then you can walk, and here you are. So if you're running and then you do this, now you're in the elevator. That's just another example of, like, the hitbox is a little bit different. Getting in the elevator is just a little bit different if you're holding the high tops down. It's better to let go of the high tops slightly before getting in the elevator. So again, I'm going up at that flower. This is kind of a crummy save state. Maybe I should reload it again. I'm gonna be posting these. I think I should. Sorry, but if you want to do it right, you gotta do it right, right? So let's do it right. Hear a float plane in the background, maybe? All right. But luckily, all the information is gone. You can just skip past this part, I think, pretty freely once we get to level 4. You can keep watching, or you can watch it, it's all fine. All right, let's hope for the best. Going to save. All right, get the present, high tops, jump over the flower, jump over this flower. Look at how much better that is. Go up to those flowers, get the rocket skates, go down here, enter the elevator. And that is level 3. So level 4 here is still the same as it used to be. You do a different method if you're doing the no doorway route, but we're gonna do the any percent route today. So this is still similar to the route that is on the previous tutorial. Save as level 4, and I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is just talk about rocket skates movement in general. And a lot of people struggle with rocket skates, and they're really afraid of rocket skates, and there's a good reason for it. It's because if you open up rocket skates, if I just play like a standard human would, I'm gonna push the button once and I'm gonna release it, and it's gonna make me jump uncontrollably. And look, now I fell off the edge. What a terrible item. But the thing is, you don't have to have that happen. You can open up the rocket skates and hold the button down. So I'm gonna press the button and then keep it held down, and now I don't jump, and I am primed to jump, but I'm not jumping. If I let go of the button, I will jump, but you can control the beginning of the rocket skates if you hold the button down when you open it. That's the first important key. The next important key is regarding movement on rocket skates. A normal thing with movement might be if you're holding right, you move right, and then you think, I want to go left, I'm going to hold left. That makes sense. If you're using high tops, that works. That's good. That's a solid plan. That's a bad plan if you're using rocket skates, because rocket skates want you to move in 95-degree increments. They want you to move in like one cardinal direction. If you're going south and you want to go north, you can, but it's not good for you to go south and then hit north. Like, you can't just hit down and up. It's going to be bad. You want to go down and then right and up, or down and then left and up, because that's how you get tight, precise movement with the rocket skates. Let me show you. So if I'm moving left and I hold right, I do a pretty long turn there, and I don't have a lot of control over what's happening. But if I go down and then the other way, look at how much more control I have over my movements. Like, I can turn on a dime if I do 45-degree movement. And so I think a lot of people are scared of rocket skates because they're used to pressing the buttons like a normal person would press them, which is reasonable and makes sense, right? But the game does not expect you to be reasonable and to make sense. So the best thing to do with rocket skates is to hold down the button when you open them and to move in only 45-degree increments. So if you want to go the other direction, you have to hit 2 buttons. So if you want to go, I have to hit up and left, now down and right, now up and left, now down and right. Otherwise, you're going to do a much wider turn and you're going to lose control, and you will jump off the edge when you don't want to. That's also how you do the quick turnarounds for certain parts of the speedrun, where you're going to run into a rocket ship piece going up on the screen, and you're going to need to get the rocket ship piece and then turn around on a dime like that in a very quick manner. Like this, and then like that. Like this, and then like that. I mean, you can do it without doing that. It's just, when you waste movement on rocket skates, 90 degree increments. When you, one cardinal direction, it's the best, that way I'm not wrong with my math. But any wasted movement, like say you're doing the not cardinal direction movement like I'm saying you should, the extra time that it takes you to do, this turn as opposed to that turn translates to a bunch of screen space, and that in turn translates to a bunch of time. So like, the tighter that your rocket skates movement is, the better things will be. The easier it is to control, like you can feel better about, that's how you can go more comfortably on the skinny little paths, which we do in No Doorway, with rocket skates. Let me see if I can find a skinny little path. But yeah, that was unfortunate, but you can turn on a dime with rocket skates if you know what you're doing. You just got to learn the timing. So let's go into the level now. This is level 4. You're going to come out of the elevator until you can just be on grass. You need to walk just enough to get on grass. And you're going to go 1, 2, 3 down. If you really are, worried about messing up the menu and you want to go fast, you can just spam down a whole bunch and you'll be there. You'll be on the right present, but it's 3 down. It's 1, 2, 3, open. And again, you want to hold the button down. And so you have a very good chance of falling off the edge if you're not prepared, but basically you want to find the pie there and get in line with the pie. So if you get in line with the pie, you're on track to get this doorway present that's right here. So you want to pick up the doorway present that's right there. And I'm wasting all my time here. And then go to that kind of corner-ish area right there and turn left into the water. So I'll show you again. 3. Right there. and then you turn left somewhere around there. And then you're going straight left until you find this island right here. You might, if you're low enough, you might see the top of the elevator like that. If you're not low enough, you probably won't. But again, this is a game about lines and landmarks, and my landmark is these two flowers right here. So I can skate above those on the water and then go on the line like this straight down. And I do this to go down here, and then there's a little bit of extra movement time on the skates on this level. So what I end up doing is a loop where I'll go straight down to about the edge of the world here. You don't have to. You can make whatever route you feel safe and comfortable with that you can time out and practice on an emulator. But I go this way. I go that loop, then I come to here. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set it up so that I skate past the elevator and have the door open, so I know that the line that I took is good. And then I'm coming back down, and I'm going a little bit higher, maybe, you know, around here. Again, I'd say find your own route that works. And then I'm gonna try to do it where I end the rocket skates in this position where the door is open, and then I can walk in. Because you can't get in the elevator with the skates on, but you can open the door while the skates are on and then have your skates duration end right in front of the elevator. And that's kind of what you want to do. There, I got my doorway. Going down here, I'm going left. Looking for my landmark of that island. I see my flowers, I'm going straight down. Going here, I opened the doorway, and I know that I can do that. So that's what I'm looking to do. And I could spend more time on that, but I think that you can rewatch it, and it should be pretty good. It's mostly just about finding the lines and the landmarks that you're comfortable with, that you know you can make it to where you want to be successfully. So now we're on level 5. And the first thing you're going to do is walk out of the elevator, and again, wait until you're just on the grass, because if you try to open items in the elevator, it won't work. You can get in the elevator with skates on. Yeah, clearly the superior game. Yeah. Sure. So you want to walk, like, step out of the elevator, high tops, down and right. And you want to jump down and right. So you want to get to, well, that's not great. There's a bunch of places. It doesn't have to be just at this exact spot right here. You could probably jump from this little nub right here and make it too. Yeah. But the point is you want to go down and right from the elevator into this little area and jump across there. Like, that's your goal. I'm going to reload and do the next part. So you get out, you open your high tops, come down here, you find your spot, you jump, and then you jump, you ride this line here, kind of, sort of looks like your ToeJam's right, it looks left on us, your leg is out over the abyss a little bit. That's the line you want to be on, because then you're going to grab that rocket skates present right there. Yeah, and I did it while I had the hearts on too, it was pretty nice. I'll show you that in time. So you might not be on the right line. You see it was pretty forgiving. I was a little bit far to the left there, and it was okay. If you're too far to the left, it's not good. I would say it's better to err on the side of being a little bit too far over here, and then wiggling to grab the present. But regardless, you get the present here, and you jump down this way. I like to go this way, but there's another way that you can go that I haven't really messed with, just because my muscle memory does this. Clearly, it's not good when I'm trying to talk at the same time, but I should make a save there again, I think. I think I made one last time. Right in front of the mailbox area. Grab the present, you jump down here. There's another way you could go up this way. I see people do this, and I don't know exactly what the line is, but I see them do this. Might be that orange flower right there. And that works out pretty well too. So that might be a good thing if you've never done it before to try to do. Because I think it's probably easier, pretty consistent to do it that way. I don't like to do it that way because it's not what I'm used to, because I'm a curmudgeon, you know, but that doesn't mean that it's the right thing to do. I intended to make a save state and I didn't. So let's do that this time. The first part of the level, get that present, come down here. All right, I am going to save this. Level 5, mailbox. All right. So I think the most important thing with not getting hit by the mailbox is how clean your movement is and what line you take. So if you waste a little bit of time in your movement, if you do a little wiggling or you're imprecise, I think that's what's going to get you hit by the mailbox. I think that's more important than anything else. So like, you grab the present, you come back this way. Like if you take this line, you're not in the best position to get it. He didn't hit me there, but he had a good chance. Like he made it all the way down here, and I had a pretty good chance of being hit. Let's see if I go to the line that's a little bit closer to him. Like this one. Oh, it still made it. I can't tell you exactly what it is that triggers it. I think it's partially the angle you jump from too. Like this angle that I saved from is clearly a pretty good one. Let's say that I jump from here and I try to do this. Yeah, you see, he got me there. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's something about like his danger radius or whatever. Whatever the trigger is for it, however far away you have to be for it to start coming to life. I think if you jump from farther back this way, I think, or too far this way, like you spend enough time in the zone for it to get you, but if you don't, it's just enough to get by. Shoot, no, not save, load. Because I think it'll be pretty consistent if my movement is consistent every time right there, yeah. But again, this is one of those things where you can try to copy what you see me or somebody else doing, but really find out what works best for you and go with that is what I would say. So let's talk about the rest of the level, I guess. Stop. Alright, so you get the present right here, those rocket skates again after the mailbox, and you run down towards the road and you go down and left. Just follow the road. I see a lot of people do this. I don't really know that it's any faster. I don't have a good landmark for this. You see, like here I am kind of bumping against the thing. I mean, I guess maybe like this group of flowers could be your landmark. I don't really think it matters all that much. What I like to do, I'll show you what my landmarks are, but really find, just take the road and make your own landmarks to get to that elevator is the best thing that I can say. But I'll show you what I like to do. Just wiggle to make sure I got that. So I like to get not hit by the shopping cart lady. I like to go here, and then as soon as I see this first little whatever this divot is right here, I go straight down from that until about this flower, and then I go straight down and left and do the thing where I get in the elevator. Like that gives me a I know I won't get blocked or trapped on the elevator or waste movement or anything like that. And it's a little bit less time on the road, but I like it better. But feel free to do whatever you want in this level. Again, you open up your high tops, go down and right, make your jump, get your rocket skates, you go down and right. You can either do the route that I do, which is down here, or I'll show you the other one because I think that one might be a good one to learn. Probably more consistent. So this one you just go straight right on the road. Above there you look for an orange flower right down there. You jump on the orange flower and then you go down and left from there. But you see right there I got hit. So if that works out being you know, consistent for you, that's great. The way that I do it is consistent for me. So this is all about your personal preference and what works for you. I'm just gonna reload from this one. We get past our mailbox. even if you get hit by the mailbox, it's not like the biggest deal, you know? If you're first starting out, it's not the worst thing. And so then you can choose your path here again. I like this one, but the other one is just as good. And we're moving on to level 6, which is our first doorway level. So the idea on level 6 is that we're going to run down and left from the elevator to grab a doorway. Then we're going to open up a doorway and hope that we land right at the ship piece. Alright, so I will save level 6. So you go down and left, and this present right here is the doorway. So what you can do is you can either remember that it's the sprite of the present that you're going to see when you go here, or you can just know muscle memory menu. It's 1 down. The first present we grabbed in this speedrun on level 1 was a doorway. And so that's going to be 1 down in your inventory. Open up the doorway, and, you know, we might have to reload this. This might be a bad save state with the mole right there. But you go in a doorway and hope that you end up on green, but you don't want, like, this might look good, but it's not, because we want the ship piece, not the elevator. So, essentially you're opening up a doorway and hoping that you land. This is passable. I can open up the map. I landed down in the spot, so the ship piece is just up and to the right from where I am. This is why it's really helpful to have the revealed map files open if you don't, you know, kind of just know where it all is. But essentially the ship piece is right over here. And if you're just starting out, this is a fine doorway to take. And then if you run out of high tops after you get the ship piece, open up Icarus Wings. Like, anywhere from when you grab the ship piece is an okay place to open up the Icarus Wings. They're going to be 1 down in your menu again. And you're going to Icarus Wings directly up to the elevator here. And you're going to go in. You want your flying to be pretty consistent, but, you know, that's something you can work on later. Like, you want to land on the ground, or, yeah, like, you don't want to be in the air with the elevator doors open, I guess, because that's time that you're wasting that you could have already been in the elevator. But there's a bunch of places you can end up landing on this level. These are good doorways. So I know, but you should, before you, just have it fluently remembered where everything is, opening up the map is a good thing to do to know where you are. So if you get high tops for long enough, if you get a good enough doorway, you want to run up to this flower right here and then open up your Icarus Wings, because running is faster than flying. So you want to run as much as you can and then open up your wings, and then you kind of want to just, like, see, I landed and now the doors are open. If I was in the air and the doors had been open, it would have been a little bit of wasted time. But let's see if we can get some crummy doorways and still run our way to where we need to go. Because you will get crummy doorways, and if you're just starting out, it's fine to take them. So here, this is actually the path, yeah. So if you land on that patch of orange, kind of in the middle of the map, you can just run straight down. There is rocket skates right here that, if you're more experienced and you're fluent and you know what you're doing and you can manage a disruption in a routine, you could grab these rocket skates and use them on level 11. Like, if you got a doorway that wasn't very good and you go past these rocket skates and you feel comfortable, you can pick them up and you can use them on level 11. These aren't in the route. This isn't a part of what I'm going to tell you to do, because we're expecting to get a doorway that's going to take us right to the ship piece. So that's the best case scenario. That's what we want. So these rocket skates are not routed into the route. We're looking to get right to the ship piece and move on. But if, you know, if you do end up getting a bad doorway and you keep going, you can take these rocket skates as an alternate plan and use them on level 11. And I'll show you how to do that when we get there. But for now, we're going to go to the right. You see the eggs? The bacon and eggs is a good landmark to know that you're in the right spot. I ran out of high tops, and I'm going to go across the bridge here and grab the ship piece. And then since I got the ship piece, I can open up the high tops because that'll be fast, or the Icarus Wings, that'll be faster than walking. And you fly straight up to the elevator. So the end is always going to be the same. You grab the ship piece. If you still have high tops duration, you high tops up and then open up Icarus Wings and fly straight up. If you don't have high tops, as soon as you grab the ship piece, you can open up the wings and fly straight up. So we're not going to worry too much about the ending now. We're just going to try to get to the ship piece from various locations on level 6. Well, that's pretty crummy. I might want to change this save state. So here's another one. We're up a little higher this time. I know that this one opens up. I should just show you. Bad bullet girl placement. This looks like it's gonna open up. This is not the path. Come on, game. You gotta be kidding me. This is not the path to take. This is a troll. So if you see that, you know that you just need to go a little bit further left. I'm gonna use these oh my god. This hula girl is out of control. You go over here. You go like 2 divots left, and that's the path that you can take down. And you just go straight down till you get up to here, and then you'll be back in this maybe familiar location. You can see over here, there's the bacon and eggs. There's that rocket skates present. You'll get to recognize, if you do it enough, you'll recognize the locations. You get over here. If I have high tops, I like to jump over here, but at your own comfort level, you can jump over here. Like this little nubbin right here is a pretty safe place to jump. You can walk across here if you're feeling really sketchy, but this little nub right here is a very safe place to jump. You just go straight right, and then you can get the ship piece. And so that's very likely the 2 places where you're going to end up going down. The first path that I took from the cheese and the second path that I took from the cheese are going to be likely positions. Let's just try a couple more, but if you get doorways that aren't really right in those cheesy locations, like, yeah, that's the end of the run for you if that happens, you know, so. So that was another really good doorway. So you go here, and you get it, and you keep moving. But we're hoping for a bad doorway for this one. And they give me good doorways when I... Of course. Game's a super troll. So now, this is a bad doorway. This is one of the worst. Because the only thing you can do... This is another doorway right here. You recognize it. So if you end up in this island, you could grab another doorway and just doorway again. Which is maybe what you should do, I think. But like, say this is your last doorway, and you're committed to keep going. There's no resetting in your future, which is fine. You can go up like this, up here, and then you'll eventually go back to that other path that we were on before. This is the first one that we did, where you'll go down, and then the rocket skates will be just to your left. So that's kind of like path number 1. And then we can go find path number 2. But those are pretty much the places that you're going to land. Or you're going to land back at spawn. If you ever land on grass and you see a squiggly path like that, you know you're in the wrong place. You won't see a squiggly grass path like that if you got a good doorway. So if you land in a grass spot and it's squiggly, it's probably spawn, or it might be where the elevator is. If you see the elevator, you know you're in the wrong spot. But these are the 2 paths. So the one below me and this one are the paths that'll take you to the island that's where you want to go. So anywhere that you land on this map, you need to find either these 2 paths or you need to land on the correct island. So that's level 6. Let's do it one more time for posterity, and let's move on. Nope, that's level 7. Level 6. Alright, this is bad, so I'll open up another doorway. We've got 3. You can use all 3 if you really need to. I saw the bacon and eggs, I should have known, but I'm just open up the map for you. So, you can use all 3 if you want to. At a certain point, I think since it's level 6, I kind of prefer trying 2 and then either just going from there, or, you know, if it's... I'd say if you're just starting out and you get like a mediocre doorway on level 6, you should keep your other doorways and keep going. You can use 2, it's fine. You can definitely use 3 if you really want to, it's there. There's enough. doorways in the route to use 3. It makes the later game harder. Having more doorways as you go on makes things easier. So that's level 6. And so in level 7, we already have the Icarus Wings from the previous level. We'll save. And you just get out of the elevator and start flying. If you start dancing, if there's a hula girl, if you spam A enough before you start sinking, you'll fly. You can fly away from being entranced by the hula girls. But the thing here is you want to land. So I did this bad, but you kind of want, like, the ideal thing you could do is float and land like right here without, you know, falling on your butt, and then open up high tops from right there. That's like the ideal thing that you could do. But it's not easy to do that, so really the important thing is making it down. So you just go straight down from the elevator. And I don't have like a great method. Like I do a couple of flap things, so I think at the end of this I should land on the ground. No, I don't. But I want to land on grass and open up the high tops, because sometimes if you're not on the grass and you're still in the air and you open up the high tops, it glitches you like under the world. But this is a pretty straightforward level. You fly down, and then when you get on grass, you open up high tops and you run straight to the elevator. So let's just look at it one time, and then I think we can be pretty happy. Because you're really just flapping down. And like the most complicated you can do is find like a nice rhythm to know exactly, you know, like that's pretty good. But I did the thing that I didn't want to do. So there's the thing that you can do that's not great. I must have not been over grass. So there you go. That's why it might be beneficial to make sure that you're walking on the ground just for a second before opening up the high tops, but you know, I'm trying to save every fraction. Trying to be a mole, yeah. And that's level 7. So there's, if you're real good with your movement, there's high tops enough to start running from the furthest point up on the grass you could be. But if you're not as comfortable with your movement, then it's not a bad idea to fly a little bit further south before opening up your high tops. Save for level 8. So here you're going straight down and right when you get out of the elevator. If you hold down and right, you'll make these jumps fine. Then you can go straight right on the road, come here, pick up this doorway, down and right to this path, you go straight right. And then around a little bit after the flower, around the flower, you can jump down and right. And here's the elevator. So this is a pretty straightforward one. The things that can happen are earthlings on that tiny path, or earthlings near the elevator. You can get squished by nerds, that wastes time. Or there can be like a dentist or a shopping cart lady on the skinny path, and those are bummers. But for the most part, just holding down and right, coming here, getting on the road, grabbing this doorway, and continuing right. So this is different from the old route in the sense that we used to use rocket skates here. And now we just high tops along. And you get an elevator. So that's level 8. Pretty straightforward. Level 9 is similarly pretty straightforward. Used to need the dollar that's in the way here. Don't need it anymore, but there's kind of no way to avoid it, so there's really no use not grabbing it. Might as well just grab it. But we'll save here. You're almost running straight left out of the elevator here, but let me show you what happens if you've got good movement and you go straight left. If you go straight left with good movement, you fall. So what you need to do is go a little bit down. You might not have noticed it, but you want to be kind of like in line with that little elbow right there. The bees are kind of a problem for showing this. They're not a problem for doing it fast, but they're a problem for showing it. But I went a little bit down there out of the elevator, and you'll see I'm going to land right on the thing. So if you go a modicum down after you get out of the elevator, or you can find a landmark that works for you, Pretty much slightly down and then straight left is what you do at the beginning of this level. Let's just look at it in time. I'm gonna do level 8 again, because I don't want these bees here. Bothering me, those bees! Really bothering me, those guys. And I'm making sure to run back on the grass so I stop sinking into the sand, because sinking in the sand is bad movement. Go slow. Alright, hopefully there's no bees on the way here, or not like a lawnmower man or something. That's not what we need. But this does show you that you will need to be adaptable when you're doing this, because Earthlings will get in the way of what you're trying to do. That is a guarantee. Alright, here we are. So, going left, you can even go slightly down. You might not have even seen it, but I pushed down. And then you keep going left, a little bit up, and you're at the elevator. Level 9 is real easy, just one more time. I'll show you, and it's really just about practicing going down a little bit and finding the landmark that's going to work for you. But other than that, it's pretty easy peasy here on level 9. Could be bees or a lawnmower guy that give you a hard time, but that's pretty much it. So we'll move on to level 10. I hope that I can try to find the extra doorway this time. Because there's another doorway you can grab if you're so inclined. I don't grab it because I'm gonna try to have my rocket skates end right at the elevator. But you could open the skates a little bit later and have more time on them and try to grab an extra doorway, should you so desire. But I'm gonna first show you just the base route. So you get out of the elevator and you go up and right. And you keep going up and right. And you get to this little double grass patch and you kind of run right here. Like, just, I don't really know what else to say, but right here. Just kind of the middle of this little pincher area right here. And this is where I'm going to open the rocket skates from. And then you're going to run into one of those things where you're going to have to do one of those quick turnarounds, like I said. Like that. You go down here. You're going to jump. You're going to go left and get this pair of rocket skates from above, because it's way easier to get them from above. And so if you're trying to be aggressive like me, you're going to start your skates from there, and their skates are going to end ideally with you right in front of the elevator like that. But let's say that you're not interested in that. You don't want to try to have perfect rocket skate movement. That's probably preferred. If you're starting out, maybe don't try to go for the perfect rocket skates movement. So in that case, you can go to several places. So one of them would be what I used to do, which is come up here and jump on this corner. And then like right here, as long as you're above this line, so you're not gonna, hop over the water, like this is a good spot to be, because if you go too high, you're gonna spawn that terrain and that will cost you time. So you do the jump, so you jump from there and you land like right here. And you're gonna open up your skates and do the same thing, and you should have a little bit more time to wiggle. So the idea of doing that would be that you don't think you're gonna have perfect movement, and you want to make sure that you make it to the island in enough time. And I think that that's a very good strategy, because it'll be slower overall if you try to be perfect and you're not. You're gonna waste time in comparison to just doing this. This will be much more consistently fast for you. And if you're interested in trying to get the extra the extra doorway, then I think what you might want to do, I don't know if we have enough high tops with this route, we'll see. But you basically just want to use as much of the high tops as you can possibly bear before they run out, and then open up the rocket skates. Let's see if I can find the doorway, and then I'll try to talk about getting the ship piece without jumping. I have a hard time explaining it, I think. So first you would go here, grab this, and then somewhere in the, right there, the extra doorway is right on that island. And if you can get like there's a way of finagling it so you can perfectly grab it and then make it back to the island in time. It's hard to do, and I'm not sure that it's worth grabbing, but it's right there should you want to try to make it into your route. If you want to add that into your route, that's where the present is, and you can attempt to get it there. So let's see if I can talk about the thing. So let's see right here, file, save state as level 10 ship piece. So the best thing that I don't really know how to describe it because it's like a quick thing that happens in my brain, and I think that I'm telling you what I'm doing, but I'm, you know, I don't know. It's like a muscle memory thing, but you're holding down A or whatever your action button is when you open the rocket skates, right? So you have that button held down, and then you go into the ship piece, and you're on the ship piece screen, and you have to use, you can use the A button to progress those screens, right? So that means that if, like, say you progress the screen and you just hit A, you're probably going to jump. So when you progress the last ship piece screen, like, you hit A, and then you hit it after, like, you hit the button and release it to make the command trigger, but then right after you release it, you hit it and hold it down again. So if you do that fast enough, then the game doesn't have enough time to make you jump because it thinks that you're still holding the input down. That's the best way that I can describe it. So, like, I have the button held down here, I let it go, I'm pushing the button, and then I push it back again. So it's like a double click sort of, but like you're holding it down at the end state of it is the button is held down. So, like, I have the button held down right now. Like, you can either keep the button held down and then let go of it and then push it again to progress it and hold it down, is what I just did there, or you can let go of it completely here, and then when it's time to continue, you double tap and then end up holding it. The most important thing is you have to end up holding it, but, like, you do a quick push, release, push. It's a push, release, push. So, like, if you go into it with the button held, you can do one of two things. So go into it with the button held. First, try doing this. So you get to the ship piece screen, you let go, and then, like, you kind of know when you can progress. Then push it. You do the click, unclick, click. Like, hold, unhold, hold. And that should be the ticket. Or you can try holding the button down and keeping it held the whole time. Waiting until you know it's safe, and then letting go and then pushing it again. Both of those methods work. And it's really just a matter of getting the muscle memory and the timing and the practice down. And, like, I don't really know how else to describe it, I guess. Because it's just one of those things that, like, I intuitively do, and it's hard to, like, deconstruct it in my brain. If that makes sense. But hopefully that was helpful. Because I know that that's something that a lot of people struggle with. It's a really common thing. And I feel like I don't do a very good job of explaining how to do it. Okay, so here's level 11. Like I said, if you get a bad doorway, there's an alternate strategy you could employ on this level, but I'm going to show you what the standard strategy is going to be, assuming you got a good doorway on level 6 and went pretty close to the ship piece. So you get out of the elevator and use your high taps right away, and you go down and left. If you're not comfortable doing the jumps, you can go straight left here, should you so desire. But what you want to do if you're wanting to, you know, be as fast as possible is you get to this kind of nub right here, and you go down and left, and you'll make that jump just fine. So you get kind of in this nub right here. I'm not sure if this nub, I don't think you want to be in this nub. You want to be on this little finger right here. You go down and left. And you keep going until you get this present right there, which is high tops. Then you keep going this way. There's kind of like this little dot and these flowers. You do a jump right there. There is terrain, especially on the right side, and we're also trying to skip this Poindexter animation, but we'll get there. There's a lot of terrain on the right side that you can spawn, and it takes a long time to spawn. These are pretty bad time losses, so you don't want to run on the right side there. So I'm going to do the beginning of the level in sequence. Well, if I can open the present, nice. So go, I get the pair of high tops here. I'm going, I'm doing my jump. And then I'm running in the middle here so I avoid. Now I see that the promotion thing is happening, so I'm gonna jump on the left side there because I know I'm not gonna spawn the terrain on the left side. And if you're in the air jumping, you have the opportunity to skip the Poindexter like we did. So there's several places you could get the promotion depending on how many doorways you used and how good your doorway was on level 6. So every time you use a doorway, that's 2 points. So using multiple doorways means you're going to get the promotion earlier. And say you use 2 doorways and you got a bad second doorway and you opened up a lot of extra tiles exploring the map, or it's farther to run from where you got to get to the ship piece, so you got a couple extra points from tiles on level 6. You're going to have an earlier promotion than if you just opened 1 doorway for 2 points and landed right next to the ship piece and then moved up from there. You might not even promote until level 12 if your movement was really good in that circumstance. So there's like a wide variance. You might even have the promotion on level 10 if you had enough doorways used or enough tiles unlocked on level 6. So there's a wide range, but it's most likely going to be on 11. And the earliest it could happen on 11 is as soon as you enter the level, and that's like you have to have perfect movement and then try to. That's my controller being weird. Maybe I clicked off the screen or something, I don't know. But I'll try to show you, like, if you get the immediate level up, you need to have like perfect movement to the high tops and then make this jump right there. But all of these places that I'm jumping are potential places that you could be avoiding the promotion. You see there, I didn't avoid it, but those are all places that you want to be jumping depending on when you're promoting. And the only way that you get a feel for it is just to have it happen a bunch and kind of give it your best. It's about 3 seconds of time wasted if you don't skip it. So it's meaningful. That hula girl is the reason I didn't skip it there. It's a meaningful thing to do, but if you're just starting out, the 3 seconds that you lose on that isn't going to make or break your run. So it's not like you need to reset if you don't skip the Poindexter. There's a lot of hula girls on this level and a lot of moles. Those are the only earthlings that aren't friendly earthlings on the level. So right there, you want to spawn that terrain, and then you want to be running right down this line, and you can just go straight down, jump off, and you'll land here. It's pretty forgiving, this jump, but you just run straight down, you jump into there. This is another place you can jump, say you're promoting. That one right there, that one right there. Good places to jump if you're promoting. And so really you're just running the level, doing your lines, trying to avoid the promotion, avoiding moles. This is a good save state. There's a hula girl, but there's not a lot of moles. So if you get moled on this level, unless they steal a doorway and you have doorways to spare, it's pretty much the end of the run. So the worst thing that can happen is getting mold. This is like the most dangerous level. I needed to skip that. I wasn't thinking. This is the most dangerous level for sure. And in the no doorway run, we use rocket skates on this level and it makes it safer. Still not a guarantee, but That's the level. You're just hoping to avoid getting mold. We move on to level 12. Oh, I'm gonna save on level 12, then I'm gonna go back to level 11, because I forgot to show you the rocket skate strat. The alternate, just in case you grabbed those skates on level 6 strat. So we'll save here on 12. And we'll load level 11. So say you got that extra pair of rocket skates on level 6. Maybe you got a doorway right there, and you're just like, yes, let's use it. So you'd open up your skates and go a little bit down. You could go straight left, and I'm holding down the button again. Like, whenever I open up skates, I'm holding the button down because it's just the easiest way to control it. So I'm just gonna assume that you're doing that too. So you open up your skates and you go left. You need to go down. See, if you go straight left, you're gonna fall off. This is definitely something to practice, and I wouldn't recommend doing this unless you feel comfortable doing it. And you just do the same thing. You grab the high tops there, you go on the same lines. You get here, you go on this line, and you jump right there so you don't spawn the other terrain. And it's easy to, you know, skip the Poindexter when you're on rocket skates. You have a little bit of extra time at the end, and I was pretty dangerous there. You might want to do some circles above the elevator in a safe place instead of right in front of the elevator like I was, but that's how you would use rocket skates on that level. So here, we're gonna get out of the elevator, grab those high tops, go straight down, grab this doorway, then we're gonna look for this flower right here, jump left. And this is where, depending on, you know, your level of confidence in your rocket skating, you could open up the rocket skates right here, if you so desired. These chickens are kind of trolls. I bet they're still there, though. But you get the present, you look for the flower, you go straight left, and then you open up your rocket skates, you grab this pair of rocket skates, you go back right, and then you find this lake, and you go down. As soon as you get to the right edge of that lake, you go straight down, find the ship piece, you go here to this lake, little divot, I don't know what to call it, we'll go back. I'll try to, oh wait, what am I, this isn't no doorway. Getting myself confused. See, you grab the high tops, you grab the doorway, go here, and then depending on your comfort level, you either open the skates here or you could run all the way up to the skates and then open the skates. Go right until you get to the edge of the lake here, and you go straight down into the ship piece. Then you go right until you get to that kind of like right there. You go straight over it, straight up, and you get the other doorway present, and then you find the elevator. And you want to try to get the good elevator entry again there, but if you open it at the earlier place, you'll have less time. Let's try to do that this time. See if I can avoid the chickens. A little bit of extra movement there that I didn't want to use, but chickens are in the way. That's just the way the run goes. So we'll see where I end up having opened it at that location. And you find that spot, maybe a little bit to the right. And you can open up the first present in your inventory, which is high tops, to get to the elevator, because you're going to open them up on the next level anyway. So whenever your rocket skates end, you can open up high tops and make it to the elevator. That's level 12. There's 2 doorways to grab and a ship piece and a pair of rocket skates. This is another doorway level. So whether you opened up your high tops on level 12 or if you rocket skated and then, you know, just went right in the elevator, either way, you either have high tops or you open high tops right away. They'll be the first item in your inventory. And then after that, you open up a doorway and you go through and you hope to find cheese. But here we haven't found cheese, but we did find a place where I can jump. So this is a good doorway because you can jump right up here. So if you end up anywhere on the top of the map. Like say you end up on the top left, or if you're close to this area, this is the location you want to go to, right here. And it's this second nub right here, and you jump straight right, and you will make it. It's real easy, you just jump straight right, and then from there you go down, and the elevator's right there. So if that's the doorway that you get, that's the location you're going to get to the elevator from. You want to find this cheesy island. That's your goal. So you open up a doorway, and you want to see cheese. You're happy if you see cheese. This road is not where you want to be. Down and left, this is a bad one, so you might want to open up another doorway, but let's just say we're hell-bent, or we're out of doorways, or whatever. You can run kind of up here, and I think that this is it, right? No. I was in the wrong spot. Right here. So say that you end up below, you get to this lake, there's another spot you can find, there's the fries right there, there's just like 2 flowers right here, you can kind of jump here, and then, you know, if you want to jump, or you can just take the path, whatever you feel comfortable with, but this is another way to get to the island, is from below like that. Basically, this level is all about how do we get to that cheesy island from wherever the doorway puts us. So here again, we're like right there. You might just want to spawn the terrain. Oops. That's kind of an... I don't like that spot where that doorway. It's not a great one. Let's see, this one. Not very good either. Right, this, and then you're over here again. You can find these 2 flowers by those fries, and you can come up here. But that's a bad doorway. You'd want to open up another door. We're getting a lot of bad doorways on this level. I'm looking for like a mediocre doorway. That's what I'm really... This is a bad doorway. This is again, we ended up here, so you'd find this second nub right here, and you'd go straight that way. I'm just going to find the other place, because the game's not going to let me find it. But you could end up, you know, not that high on the map, but more, like a little bit lower on the map. You're going to want to go on this nub right here. It's like they're similarly close to one another, but say you end up like a little bit down and left, or whatever. This is the other nub that you can, not this one, it's this one. The second from the bottom. It's either the second from the top or the second from the bottom. And you can jump straight over and make it to your elevator. But what you're really hoping for is just... Shit. Not save. You're really hoping to get a doorway that takes you right to that island of cheese. We haven't gotten one yet, though. Hey, that's what you want right there. That's the doorway you're looking for. But there are those places, and what I would recommend is doing what I've done here and having a save state on this level, opening up a doorway, seeing where it takes you, and trying to get to the elevator from wherever you end up. That's the ticket. If you feel comfortable making it to the elevator from anywhere, then that's where you want to be. Here we're on level 14. Still use rocket skates on this level in this run. So I think the rocket skates are the first item in your inventory, but, you know, depending on what you do, they might not be, but I feel like they should be, but just get used to whatever is the norm for you. You open up the rocket skates, and you want to go here, and jump. There's land that can spawn, so if you're too far to the left, you'll generate terrain. That's for sure, but I also think if you jump early, you spawn the terrain. So let's see if that's the case. If you jump early, a little bit early, like right there. Oh, no, you don't. But I do think that you're more likely to spawn the terrain if you jump a little early, but it's more about being close to the left also. So it's something to think about. Right, if you jump early, you spawn that terrain. That's the terrain you can spawn if you jump early. But those are the places that you could run into a little bit of time loss. See, right there. I went too far to the right. I think that's what it was. You just gotta get a feel for where you want to be. Up here, is this present? You get those high tops and you go straight right. you're here, you'll need to do a little bit of time wasting on your rocket skates, and you go in the elevator. That's level 14. So level 15 is changed from the previous tutorial. Used to use high tops and buy Icarus Wings here, but we're just going to be rocket skating here. 15. We're just going to rocket skate, which is nice for us because there's a hula girl right there. So you just got to go a little bit left and up. Kind of find that tree. You go a little bit below the tree and left to make it up here. You want to be on the right side here, so you can do a quick turnaround here. So, oh, that was me doing bad. Let me do the quick turnaround instead of not doing it. I mean, anything that you can do is good, but you don't have as much time leeway on this if you want to be like really fast. So the best thing you can do is be a little bit to the right, do a quick turnaround, and then come here, come left of that present, and then go straight down, and you're right there at the elevator. So that's a pretty ideal level. It's not great that that hula girl is in the way, but you can kind of deal with it. Again, you just go up and left until you see that tree a little bit below the tree. I'm going to try to be a little bit on the right side there. Usually I'm holding up at this point, and then when I turn around, I hit the other things. But find what works for you. Stay to the left of that present. And there it is. If you find that the way that the rocket skates movement, you're leaving yourself a little bit away from the elevator and you have to walk, open up high tops, because that's the first thing that you do in the next level anyway. So if you're not ending the level 15 right next to the elevator, open up the high tops. Even if you are, you could still get in the habit of opening up the high tops, because you're going to open up on level 16 anyway. I don't think I made a level 16 save last time. You just find your high tops, you open them up, you go straight up to the road, and you find this landmark, like kind of the little edge right here of... There's this bloop of cheese sand, if you want to use that bloop, but it's also kind of like this transition zone where there's a little nubbin edge of grass over the water. That's my landmark. I'm going to jump straight up from that. Boogeyman is a troll. I'm going to jump straight up from there. Find that landmark, you jump straight up, and you just keep running up. You spawn that terrain, and you hope you don't get mold. This is a bad save state. I think I need to reload 15 and get a better set of RNG for 16. Because I don't think that that's what I want people to be practicing on. Maybe not this one either. I might need to reload this one too. I don't know. Little girl, I guess it's easy for me, but it might not be. The ticket is right in the way every time. But if you have downloaded my save states, and this is a bad one, you can go back to level 14 and finish that one and get a new level 15 state and just save over it. Should have different RNG, or make it like a 15-A save or whatever. That would work perfectly. Let me save this now. Probably still a boogeyman right in the way. We'll just do it again. It's really straightforward. Another really easy level. Oh, no boogeyman. You just look for that little divot, and you go straight up. There is an extra doorway you could lose time to grab on this level if you so desired. So I'll make a save state on 17 and I'll go back and show you where the extra doorway you could go get if you really needed one is, but you're going to lose time going that route. But if you're desperate for a doorway, there's one that you can grab. So let's save. Oh, no, not load. Save as 17. And then we'll load 16. So if you need the extra doorway, you just follow the road. You get up to the road and you run on the road. And I like to just do this instead of doing the switchbacks. But you run up here, you grab the doorway, and then you go on the elevator. It's slower, but it works. So that is an option that you have. We use rocket skates on level 17. Before I open up, so this is not what you should do. What you do is you open up the rocket skates immediately when you get out of the elevator, but I'm going to show you the landmark first. This is maybe a bad save state as well. Yeah, okay. 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 Well, we're gonna make another one. I don't want two boogeymen right in the way right off the bat. It's possible, something that could happen to you. There's more boogeymen on level 17 than anywhere else. But I would prefer to maybe not have it be a really crummy save. And that seems like a pretty crummy one.
Boogie, 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 boogie.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, let's save. We got an opera singer instead of a boogeyman. Well, there might be more, but at least one of them is an opera singer this time. So again, this is not the route. I'm just showing you a landmark. This flower right here is your landmark. That's what you want to be in line with. Again, the boogeyman. Oh, do I have money? I sure do. This is gonna be awesome. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. Now, this flower right here, the orange one that you can see right above ToeJam's head, that's the relevant flower. Because you want to be in line with it, but like slightly to the left of it. You don't want to be in exact line with it or to the right of it at all. You want to be to the left of it, because you see there, the path starts here, and if you're on the skates on this path, you're going to be totally fine going like that. So I'll show you with the skates, but just that flower is your landmark, and you want to be slightly to the left of it, but still touching it. That's where you want to be. So you open up your skates. You see, I am totally fine. It looks dicey, but it's really not that dicey. The wizard was much more dicey than any of the, and that boogeyman right there. It's much more dicey than anything else. These boogeymen are in pretty dicey situations. But I made it okay. Again, oh man, this is maybe not the safe state again to keep. Let's see, I'll do it a bunch of times and see if they troll me. But it's pretty forgiving. Like, I think you can be fairly far. That was too far to the left. Not even. Look, I was super far to the left and you're fine. I mean, I messed up because of the wizard there. But as far as like the thing that's actually hard about the level, it's not really that bad. You got plenty of leeway as long as you're on that flower, but like just to the left of it, you know? And you come up here and you want to jump up there. Get the ship piece. Yeah, this is a bad boogeyman. So this is your landmark is these presents. You want to go on down straight here to the right of those presents. That little dimple or the little protrusion there. I have to do, like, I just can't deal with this. Level 17 is such a troll. Went too far left that time, but it's okay. It all works out fine. It's like a couple pixels of movement extra. It's not a big deal. Alright, come on, level 17. The wizard is really the biggest problem that I think was in those previous saves. Alright, level 17, let's go. I was pretty far to the left there, and I'm still super safe. So you go up here, and then it's not always going to be the same presents, but there are going to be two presents right there. And you go on the little protrusion right there, and you make your way back. The thing that you need to watch out for is there's terrain if you're too far to the right that you can spawn. But other than that, just get yourself comfortable with the lines and the landmarks, and that's the way to do the level. Most important landmark being this one, I think. But it's pretty, well, once you get the landmark consistent, it's really not, like, even that one was dicey. If you end up in that situation, you just hold left, and you'll be okay. Like, I would have been fine if I hadn't tried to turn back around to, you know, show you again. But if you're in the right line, it's pretty hard to mess that spot up. Make it up here. Ship piece. And compared to flying, this saves a lot of time. Like, oh my god. You maybe be safer than that, because it would be a bummer to fall there. But if you already have a PB in this category, and you flew on level 17, which you're very likely to have done, just this alone is there's the terrain that I spawned. Just this alone is enough to be a lot of a time save. Shit. And I am... This is just me and my brain shutting down. It's like, this level's not that bad. Like, I don't think I've ever messed this run, this up in an actual run. Doesn't mean that it's impossible. Just, it's not really that, unless there's a boogeyman in the way. But there's not really anything you can do about that in this game, you know? Yeah. So that's level 17. And that is a significant time save as opposed to the Icarus Wings. Icarus Wings are so slow. We're on to 18. I think pretty much everything else from this point on is on par with how it used to be, excuse me. But I'm going to go through it all. So 18, you're looking for your high tops. You're going to open up right away and go straight up and left. Just straight up and left. And then you're going to see some money and a present. You grab the present. Those are rocket skates. You go left. There's more rocket skates right here. And then you go up. You don't want that present. And you want to look for those two flowers right there. Yeah, I did bad. I was a little bit too high. You want to be a little bit below those two flowers, but this is sort of a tight jump. Sort of, but not really. There's another terrain there. Like, if you come too low, you're going to spawn the terrain. But I didn't want to spawn the terrain there. Open up high tops. You go up and left. Watch out for our lawnmower friend. Since I moved away from him, I was right in line for the rocket skates, but you grab those skates, you grab these skates, and you go straight up. And then you try to cut a little bit below those flowers. Or like right on them, but a little, you don't want to be too high on those flowers. And you're in the elevator, and that's level 18. So it's pretty straightforward. That level's all about lines and landmarks, and that's it. Which is, you know, the whole run, but lines and landmarks. Here, now we're on level 19. First thing we're gonna do is open up rocket skates. As soon as we get out of the elevator, grab that pair of rocket skates, and then I'm still holding I'm not jumping, I'm still holding the button down. I'm just doing, you know, a jump off the edge there. I'm gonna load again because I need the skates duration, but. So I'm just opening up the skates, grabbing the skates, and then going down, grabbing that, getting in line with that mailbox so I can grab the other doorway, grabbing those high tops. So there's 3 presents to get right after you do, you know, your little thing. Wait some time and you get in the elevator. But what I was gonna say is I think the landmark that I use here is I wait until I get like sort of till I'm back on the grass. You don't really need to. But yeah, the mailbox there helps to line you up with that next present. Just get accustomed to getting those presents and find yourself a little, you know, route to get you close to that elevator. And don't fall off the edge. get on in and move on to the next level. The timing is a little bit harder to make like a precise plan to get the fast elevator entry, and it's super dicey on that little platform to try to be wiggling around in front of the elevator. So it's not super worth it on 19 to try to be perfect. I mean, you can, I do, because I'm an idiot, but especially in any percent, I think a little bit of safety there is probably the ticket. On no doorway, it's a little bit easier to have a consistent route because you don't need to get as many presents, but if you mess up your movement even a little bit, then those consistent like things to do are not going to be the same, and it's hard to adjust. So being safe, I think, on 19 is a pretty good plan. All right, we're here, level 20. We are opening up rocket skates first thing and going straight down for a while. Not picking up that present. Straight down on left, and you grab this. I try to grab it on the right side, but you can miss it, and that's not great. But just grab the ship piece. And I go straight up until the third road, and then I go right. And I want to end my skates like as close to halfway up this curve as I can, but this is fine. But you know, somewhere on this angle, I'd like to be ending my skates. And I'm gonna save here. Okay, and so then you're gonna open up your high tops, and this is the little nub that's gonna spawn terrain. You can straight up just do this if you want to. I like to, you know, live dangerously. There's this little thing right here, so if you jump up and right from there, it'll work, and you can go up here, and then there's this thing right here, this one that looks kind of different and weird. You jump up and right from there, and you can make it. But those are things that, like I said, develop fluency in the run before you try to do those things, because those aren't worth, it's not worth it. The amount of time you could save is just not worth it, unless you're already in a position where you're feeling really good about your run. So there's a pair of Icarus Wings that in an emergency, if you really feel like you need them, you could grab. They're not in the route, but they're there. I know that Seawalker and a couple other people have a different route for getting to the elevator here after the rocket skates. So if you're interested, you can watch Seawalker's PB video on any percent on level 20 and see what Seawalker does. And if that works for you, you can do that one too. That one is totally good as well. This is just what I do. So there are other options out there should you so desire. I'm going to do this level again. Open up your rocket skates, you go straight down. A little bit left, you grab that ship piece. And then I go straight up over this lake. You go 1, 2, 3, you go right. Try to make it, you know, halfway up there, open up your high tops. Spawn the terrain here. I'm gonna jump, but you don't have to. Then I jump here, but you don't have to. You can just run up until the terrain spawns. And I make it in the elevator. And should you so desire, you could, you know, if you're really low on health, you could go eat those eggs. And that would be better than dying on level 23 when you jump in the water. If you have just like a sliver of health, you might consider eating those eggs, because the death animation will take longer than it will to go grab those eggs. But, or there's the Icarus Wings there as well, but those are not things that are included. Save here on level 21. We just go straight down and right from here, touch the road just so we get out of sinking. Like, the only reason I go is just so I stop sinking. And if you can get like to this pixel and then keep going right, that's where you want to go. And then you go on the grass, and then you run here, and you try to split it so you're on the grass right here. Like, this is the pixel you want to be on, so you're on the grass. And it's so you don't spawn terrain. There's a lot of terrain to spawn here. And it takes a long time to spawn it. So you can spawn it on either side. Again, I just like to go here. I didn't touch it, but I want to touch it, so I keep moving fast. Touch the grass, and get to the pixel there. Avoid spawning the terrain. Try to be on the grass as much as I can. And then you can either make the jump here or go around to get the ship piece. Right, and then I'm gonna make another save state here. 21 dash doorway, I guess. And open a doorway, because this is what our, well, we got a bad one, but this is what we're trying to do on level 21. You get to the ship piece and you open up a doorway. You hope that you end up in the top of the map near the center, which this is not. And so from this point on, we're not picking up any more doorways. So you could feasibly use every doorway in your inventory here, but if you don't have at least 2 doorways after this level, then you're not going to get to use one on either 24 or 25 or both. So there's a doorway routed in for 24, and there's a doorway routed in for 25. And if you use all of your doorways on this level, then you're not going to be able to use the doorways on those levels. So if you end up at the end of the road, it's a pretty medium doorway. You could grab those Icarus Wings and fly there if you wanted to, if you don't feel as comfortable. Or you can kind of, there's a lot of boogeymen on this level too. You can go to that kind of flower right there. That's your spot for being safe. That's your spot. Your safe spot is that flower, because you might fall off the edge from the terrain generation, but you can spawn that terrain and then jump right over there to get to the elevator. That's one option. So most of, oh, why did I save here? I guess to show you the, this is not the save I wanted to open, but yeah, right there is where you could spawn that. You could also jump if you had to here, if you feel more comfortable with that. You could do this, but essentially you just need to make it to the elevator, which is right there. So if you don't end up on a doorway here, control. Like here, this is a good doorway, I know it. So that would be a really good doorway for you. Like if you don't end up on a doorway that takes you right to this island, you're most likely going to be taking one of those small paths. So you're probably going to end up at that area with the lake. This is a terrible save state, because the boogeyman is right there. Yeah, here's a good one. So you could get here, you jump right, and then here's that lake again. So you could either jump straight up like that, or you could do this again. So essentially, your options boil down to getting the really good doorway that puts you right by the elevator, or jumping up to that path on the left over here, and going up and around, or going on that other path. So that's how you do level 21. So let's just do it and take whatever doorway the game gives me. It's probably gonna be a terrible one. Again, avoid the terrain spawning here. Get your ship piece. Open up your doorway. Go through. Here we're close enough. Again, you've got the choice. I'm going to take my flower right here, spawn the terrain. I think it's a bad idea to do that jump. I don't think I should have done it, but... And you're here. You're here at the elevator. So again, with these doorway levels, the best thing you can do is make a save state, sort of like I've done right here after you get the ship piece, and open up different doorways and try to find different locations and just get comfortable and fluent getting in the elevator from different places around the map. So that's the deal. I should have let it go to level 22. So now I have to do this again, don't I? Hey, look at that. Okay. So yeah. 21 is going to be, it's hard, because you make it all this way, maybe you got a good doorway on level 6 and 13. 21's the big hurdle. It's hard to get a good doorway on 21, so just do your best, and, you know, hope for the best, but get comfortable getting to the elevator from a bunch of different places. Here's level 22. So here you're opening up rocket skates right away. I like to stay on the track of that dollar and pick up those Icarus Wings before I jump. It's not the easiest jump, but you don't have to do that. I like to do that, but you have to grab those rocket skates there before coming to the elevator here. So let's start again. 22. So what you want to do is open up rocket skates, kind of get in line with that dollar, grab the present and jump. If you miss the present, it's okay. You don't need it, I just like to have it. But you want these rocket skates, the third present, the top present there, and then you go into the elevator. Getting squished is unfortunate, but that's the burden of playing this game, is the Earthlings are going to do what they want to do. So say you don't want to grab that present, you don't have to. You can do this without even jumping pretty easily. That's a good route to take if you're not interested in those Icarus Wings and don't want to be bothered. But you do need those rocket skates. And then you go in the elevator, and that's level 22. So one more time, let's just look at the landmarks. You could either use that dollar as a landmark for the Icarus Wings. And the landmark for this is this weird looking piece of land right here, right here. You gotta look at that little piece and get to know it. Get to know it. And then you want those rocket skates, and we're in. And you can see I was dicking around a little bit and I still had rocket skates duration. This level is not as tight as some of the others on the rocket skates duration. And any time that you want to extend it, you don't have to do the most aggressive strats. If you end up wasting time trying to do things more aggressively, then it might be worth it doing more consistent strategies. Wait, level 23. So here, this level is pretty difficult. You need good movement, good lines, and good Earthling RNG. First thing you do is just get out of the elevator like usual, open up your rocket skates, and you're looking for this little slit right here to the right of that kind of weird looking oval, half oval thing. Regardless, I'll run over there with high tops or something, just so I can show you exactly what I mean. I'll just walk over there. But you're going straight left with your rocket skates until you get to like this spot right here, like this little spot right here. Somewhere in this area is your spot, right in that area. You open up your rocket skates, you'll be on the bottom of your menu. You want to go right up there. Am I on the perfect line? I am on the perfect line. Holy shit. You go straight up. There's another one of these quick turnarounds. If you're too far to the right there, you're going to spawn terrain. I just did a quick turnaround. This is like the perfect level. And I ended up so far down. You're never going to, like, that's never going to happen because that was perfect. And I needed to even run. Like, I was so perfect that I didn't do my jump right. But that's the level. So we'll talk more about it. So that first landmark is important. You want to hit it, and because if you do, you'll end up right in line. But you want to be like slightly over the water, but I'm not hopping over. You see, like sometimes you can hop over the water. If you're hopping over the water, you're too far to the right, and you're going to spawn the terrain right here. Which, it's not going to ruin your run, it's just going to waste some time. But you'll know that you're not on the perfect line if you're hopping on the little edges of the water there. So you want to go at that spot, and you want to be like over the water but not hopping, right there. That's the line. And you go straight up. And if you get the quick turnaround, see I didn't get the quick turnaround, I'm going to spawn terrain here, which is, again, it's okay, but I waste a little bit of movement on my rocket skates, which puts me further back. Like I didn't make it all the way down here. That was still pretty good to make it to the tree. You're feeling pretty happy if you make it down to the tree. But not only did I waste a little bit of time on the skates, but I also wasted time with the land generation. So those are the things to worry about. But regardless, you get down here, you open up your high tops, kind of find that dot right there, and go down and left so you don't have very far to swim. Like that orange dot is a good place to try to jump down and left from. You'll end up pretty close. And you'll just run into the elevator. Let's try it one more time. Full thing. See how I do. That looked pretty good. Oh yeah, this is really good. Oh yeah. Got the quick turnaround. This is perfect. And there's no earthlings in my way. Jesus, I don't think I've ever done it that good. Jeez. I didn't know that you could do that. I didn't know that you could do the level that perfectly. Okay. So there you go. It's very unlikely that you're going to end up in the water there like I did. I never end up in the water there when I do runs. Even when I have really good movement. Like, that's absurd. So I don't think that that's something you should be afraid of. Here we go, level 24. So ideally, you still have doorways for 24 and 25. You get out of the elevator, and you use a doorway. And here we got a pretty bad doorway, but let's say that we only had one doorway in reserve and we wanted to save it for level 25, which I would. I'm gonna run up here, and I'll show you how to do the level if you don't have any doorways. But you find this little nub right here, and you go straight up and left, and you land on this island, and then you can go straight up and you'll land on a pair of high tops among some other things. And then you want to go, I think the top one is better, and you jump off that little nub right there. And then you can do a straight up and left jump. Those are Icarus Wings below me, and high tops again above me, should you require them. But if you do this, you're already grabbing that pair of high tops on the island that you probably shouldn't need another pair. But let's look for better doorways. So here, let's look at some other scenarios of things that might happen. I think it's maybe better to go to the right. Here we landed right on that island, so if that happens, you already know what to do. There hopefully won't be a hula girl there. I was hoping to avoid the dancing, but she's so strong. But you would just do this and make your way to the elevator. And that would be your level. Not a terrible doorway there. I mean, the hula girl was bad. The earthling RNG was bad. But you're ideally hoping for a doorway that's going to take you right to the elevator. But, you know, that's not how the game operates. So another option is, say that that jump is dicey or you end up somewhere that you don't like. Here's where, if you did grab those Icarus Wings on level 22, you could just open them and fly to the island. That is an option. And you could grab those high tops right there if you wanted, or you could go up and grab the ones that are right here. Whatever. You can fly to the island fairly straightforwardly. So really, you're opening up a doorway and you're hoping maybe we'll get a good one. Nope, we're not going to get a good one. You're hoping, well, I mean, we know where this is though. You're hoping to get one that takes you right to the elevator, and you go right in. So maybe I can get one, just to show you that it happens. That's too far. We're way far away on that one, I think. This one? Yeah, this one is okay. So yeah, you could get a doorway like that and be feeling pretty good. Those were Icarus Wings over there as well. It's crazy. So I'm going to show you, if you don't have any items, or maybe you've only got one doorway left and you want to save it for 25. This is the route without a doorway. You go up this way, you go straight left, and then you're at that place where you do the same thing that we talked about earlier, where you jump up here, and then you jump up here. You're hoping that there's not this many hula girls in the way. Popped ya! But yeah, that's the no doorway route. It's pretty straightforward. You can see, like, it's honestly, if you get a bad doorway, it might even take more time than just doing it the other way. Like this doorway would probably take just about as much time, if not more, than, you know. But then you have the option to use another doorway and get a good one. So let's do the level, save our doorways. Uh-oh. There we go. I have a bunch of doorways left for the next one. Yeah, look at that. We did good. Okay. And we'll go on to 25. And I'll show you, if you don't have any doorways, how to do 25 also. But ideally, you have a doorway to use here on 25. Save state as level 25. So you're just gonna come out here, open up your doorway, and you're hoping to land on the bottom right. This is pretty decent. You could come down here. So say you land down here, you pick up these rocket skates. You want to go all the way to the right. You want to be on the right part of that little nub. Otherwise, it won't work. That boogeyman is a bad deal for us. Because it won't let me show you what I wanted to show you. You're ideally hoping that that doesn't happen, but you could do what I just did there and open up some wings. Save yourself. But yeah, these are bad doorways. This would be a pretty disappointing way to end a run, I would say. Yeah, that would be a bad end. But you could use those wings that I... If you end up there without any other items, you're looking to be in trouble. So this was not a very good doorway. Oh boy. Oh boy. That's what's dangerous about opening up doorways too close to the edge of space. So this was really good doorway, and I'll show you what you're supposed to do. You open up the rocket skates from that spot, and you go straight down into the final ship piece, and the run is over. So as soon as the screen goes black when you grab that last ship piece, that's when you can hit your end split button to finish the run. So let's just end up a couple of places. So now we're down here. You know that you need to go to the bottom right, so we're going right. And here's that spot again. You could either just run down here if you wanted to, if you're not comfortable, but you get out to the right here. Use the rocket skates straight into the thing. That's the fastest method, but you could always walk or run or Icarus Wings there if that's the method that you would desire. So let's do a no doorway level 25 just for posterity. So you go straight down here, all the way until you get to like right around here. And then you go this way, and really you want to be like if you're really trying to go fast, you want to be in the middle of this so you land on there, but it's really easy to fall in the water. So this is something that you want to practice. I mean, it takes a couple of seconds away if you fall in the water. You're going down and right, and then you end up at this spot, which we all know by now, and you rocket skates into the end. So it's another circumstance where getting a good doorway is obviously far superior to doing that, but if you get a bunch of bad doorways, you could end up going slower than just running the level. But that is our run, so let's see if we can get... Yeah. So this is the top one, I think, and then there's another lake down here, right? Yep. And that was bad. Here's our rocket skates. We go straight down, and then right. So practice that part, make it like a save state by those rocket skates, and practice jumping into the ship piece a bunch too, is what I would say. But that is our speedrun. And I know that I'm pretty rambly and verbose, and I talk about it all way more than I should, but that's the only way I know how. So hopefully this has been helpful, and I hope to see people trying some runs out at some point.